it slowly loads up here for me.
So we're still waiting for you to join us. We'll give you a couple of more seconds and then we will kick this off. No, it's not. Okay.
Okay, I don't think we can see the comments properly, but hey. So we do have a nice sort of 20 viewers, which is fantastic. So I think we'll get going. So, as I said, hello and welcome to our second Periscope. I'm Freddie Levette, one of your hosts. I'm joined by my fellow host, Margareta.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, and by our super special guest today, Lisa Comain, who is our Senior Director for Business Improvement. Is that right, first of all?
It is, Freddie.
Hallelujah.
Hello, everyone.
Really nice to have you along today.
Great to be here, thanks.
Thank you. And as a little bit of a pre-warning to everyone watching, this is live, so there will be some stutters and pauses. In my case, a few splutters as well, because I'm a little bit ill still. If you saw last week's Periscope, you would have seen that I didn't have a voice then. But hey, I'm back to it. We just want to be clear as well that this Periscope is not about telling you what to do. It's not about being prescriptive. This is just about commenting on some of the really interesting feedback we've had over the week on the Spark Innovation campaign. And so
so talking about comments and feedback, so thanks ever so much for joining us this week. It's great to see so much conversation around this. And we pick out just a couple of comments for this week, and apologies if your name is not mentioned. Believe us, we've read all the comments, fantastic comments. But I wanted to start with this week's poll. We asked you the question, what do you think is the most important for creating a culture of innovation? Is it not being scared to fail? Is it giving the time to experiment? Direction from the top? Or all of the above? And not too surprisingly, half of you said it's all of the above. And also, there was a significant backing for the answer, not being scared to fail, which resonated with me quite well, seeing almost 30% of you voting for that. However, I was personally surprised a bit by this, but Lisa will tell you more. What do you think about the answer around leadership? Did it surprise you that it was the lowest scoring answer?
Yeah, it surprised me a little bit, I think, really. I watched Sophie McPhillips from Tideway talking about the importance of leadership in culture change and in innovation this week, and I do think it is important that leaders set the tone and that leaders help to make innovation happen and create the environment. I do think, though, that sometimes not being scared to do new things is as a result of perhaps how leaders might react to innovation and also particularly to failure. Yeah. So if leaders are going to say on the one hand it's going to be okay to fail, and then the first time something goes wrong kind of clamp down on it, then that kind of stifles innovation. Yeah. So you've got to be kind of consistent in your leadership.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, speaking of consistency, there was a really, really interesting blog I saw this week that I'm quite interested to get your thoughts on, Lisa, where Bristol Water, Ben Newby from Bristol Water, sent out a blog about Gilbert and George, award-winning artists, fantastic. I've now seen some of their work. It's really, really good. But they were talking about how they meticulously structure their days so that they can be as creative and innovative as they can. So they take out things like, hopefully you can see the picture behind me, they dress exactly the same way every day. They eat the same food at the same restaurants to try and take out some of the small decisions, to free up brain space for innovative, creative thinking. Lisa, do you think that would work?
Well, it definitely seems to work for them, doesn't it? So I think that's fine. I guess I wouldn't necessarily go as far as that, but it is different for different people. There's lots of politicians like Obama and Angela Merkel who will actually set aside the same clothes each day or the same wardrobe, so they don't have to think then about that as another decision to make. I do think, though, sometimes getting out into new environments, new working spaces, working with different people can kind of supercharge creativity and can get you thinking about new and different ways of doing things. I also liked the tweet First Business Water earlier this week, where they talked about the ingredients for an innovative culture, and they talk there about environment and whether that's your physical environment or the people you're working with. That's a really important ingredient for success.
Yeah, just another comment on that. I think Charlie Maher at Flipper this week talked about the need for organisations to provide people with the means to innovate. I think that links in quite nicely with what Lisa just said a moment ago. So I agree. I think all of these things are very important ingredients for a culture of innovation. And there was a tweet I really liked this week from Ian Small, who's an innovation champion at ACOM, if I pronounce it correctly. So his tweet was kind of about the tension between delivery and innovation. Lisa, what's your view on that?
I really liked Ian's emphasis on leaders in this tweet. It is really about leaders creating that space in their organisations. And I think a number of the contributors this week have talked about being willing to accept failure as long as you learn from it. And also my reflection would be how you kind of get the innovation happening at the same time as doing the kind of business as usual. So how do you create the time for that and really properly allow people the space to be innovating alongside doing keeping the lights on, really?
Yeah.
Well, I think looking forward while sort of doing your business as usual is there's something that I want to pick up on that, which is hot off the press. This was just announced yesterday. Yorkshire Water have said that they're now going to be trying to publish the majority of their operational and service data by 2020, and to try and sort of be open by default with their data. So this is quite a big cultural shift, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it's a big shift, isn't it? Because often organisations want to kind of keep that data to themselves, and you know it can be a bit scary to open that up. But lots of cities across the country and across the world, and organisations are looking at how they can release data in the right way and allowing others to use that data to find solutions to new problems, really. So it is about being brave, it's about getting the value out of that. And I think a really good example that might help people to kind of tap into what this means is, for example, Transport for London have opened up the data around the tube and around buses and disruption and timetables. And that's enabled about 600 apps to be created, which is helping people to move around the capital, and that's happening in other cities as well too. So lots of real practical use that can come out of opening up your data and allowing others to find solutions.
Yes, and I think it creates really nice links to our next week's show's theme, which is going to be collaboration. And I think change in culture also enables a shift in terms of opening up organisations to collaboration in order to create better services for customers overall. So I think, yeah, we should watch this space.
Yeah, and also as I can speak as one of those customers. I used Citymapper this morning to get in, so it's good that it's being brought to being real benefit for customers.
Definitely. So yes, I think that's all what we have for this week, wouldn't it be? So thank you so much for joining us again for this week. Please continue engaging and joining our campaign and commenting. And thank you so much, Lisa, for coming along today and have this really inspiring chat this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you very much, and also thank you all to watching. So 2 quick things just to mention is, please keep commenting, keep getting interested in the videos. We have our episode next week is all around collaboration. Why Collaborate to Innovate comes out on Tuesday. Make sure you comment and tell us your thoughts on the episode. Make sure you include #SparkInnovation in that. And then also, if you haven't seen everything on the campaign, maybe you even want to rewatch this video, you can head over to our YouTube channel, see a bunch of content, some really interesting stuff, including the full interviews with a lot of our contributors. So there's some really, really interesting things that I think you can learn a lot from there. So I think that's all we have time for, and I guess goodbye and see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Stuart is panicking slightly behind the camera. If you can still see us as live, then we're very professional, I promise. And we're just trying to close down the Periscope. But thank you for all your views this week.